Welcome to your Pantheon reading at Soulfire Tarot. We're here weaving ancient myth and modern intuition together to bring you a daily dose of clarity and divine guidance for your healing journey. If you're new here, I am Christina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am a doctor of Chinese medicine and an intuitive channel. I'm just so glad you are here. Get cozy, stay a spell, okay? This is a general reading for my subscribers, although if you haven't subscribed and you found it, if you clicked on this reading, there is something here for you. So listen on through. Spirit has a message for you today. But do be aware, if you would like Spirit to specifically connect in with you in the future, you've got to attune your energy to this space. So hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, super easy. And that'll help Spirit tune into your frequency for future channelings. Because this is a group reading, not every message is going to be for every single person. So take the messages that are for you, okay? If the energy's not for you, don't take it. Leave it for the person that it is for. And when something here does resonate for you, go ahead and like the reading to claim that energy. And also go ahead and post a comment. Help other people see themselves reflected in your journey. We are all in this together. Okay, love. So we are starting today with the archetypal energy of Zeus. There we go. So you can see this. Zeus as the emperor. So if you don't know the story, Zeus was the youngest of the offspring of the Titans, who were the gods prior to the Greek pantheon that we know. Zeus overthrew his father Cronus, and he established order on Olympus and thus order on the earth. And he divided the cosmos among him and his brothers, the sky, the sea, and the underworld. With his power, he had the power to wield thunderbolts, and he became the sovereign, the king, the ruler of both gods and men. He ruled through law, through justice, and power that was balanced, if imperfectly, by mercy. So his symbol is essentially authority, structure, protection, being a stabilizing force that can turn chaos into order. So the traditional meaning of the emperor has a lot to do with leadership, with structure, mastery, control, stability. When we see here in this deck, with Zeus as the emperor, we're looking at divine authority really being embodied, the principles of order that hold our creation together. If we consider the lessons in the myth as we're looking at our growth and healing journey, what we see is that power, if it doesn't include self-awareness and compassion, it easily becomes tyranny. True leadership is about protecting and serving, not dominating. When we're looking at leadership, we're seeking to inspire the best action from ourselves and from others, not dominating over them through tactics like force, fear, and control. So this energy today is all about taking responsibility for and stewardship over what we command, over our kingdom, to lead ourselves and others, if you're in a position of leadership, with strength, with integrity, not with entitlement. When we look at our clarifying cards for today, it's interesting. We go right from Emperor to King of Pentacles. There is a real sense of being settled into your power and your authority today. This idea that you have worked really hard to build something for yourself. You have worked hard over a long period of time, and you're starting to feel that stability. And so this self-work that you've done, this self-growth journey you've been on, the meditations, the diets, the activity, the healing journey, all of it, you are getting to a place of real stability. There is a sense, though, a little bit of a sense of not quite being entirely in yourself, if that makes sense. Thinking of maybe some challenge with getting out there, getting outside of yourself, with having a sense of self that really works well when you're around other people. And I think that goes with this Five of Pentacles card. Like, I think these two really marry together. As we see the Queen of Wands in reverse and the Five of Pentacles upright. The Five of Pentacles is all about the sense of feeling locked out in the cold, right? Like I don't have access to what everyone else does. And Queen of Wands in reverse, we're seeing, introversion, this maybe a little bit of a lack of self-confidence, a need to really reestablish my connections and my sense of self in such a way that it makes it easy for me to get out into the world and around other people. So with these two together, I think you've built a lot of stability, right? You've built a lot of stability for yourself with this Emperor card, with this King of Pentacles. But sometimes our stability, our search for peace, can come at the price of not having the amount of connectedness that we would like to have. Sometimes we earn our peace through isolation. Sometimes we earn our peace through an attempt to control everything around us to such a degree that now we maybe have lost touch with the greater world and community and the joy that actually comes from being part of something that we can't actually fully control. We see here then the Queen of Swords in the upright. This is an opportunity and an invitation to find that clarity. Where am I trying to control out of anxiety versus where, again, remembering this lesson of Zeus, right? Where am I being in right relationship? So of course I want to have order, not chaos. But where is it truly chaos that would come? And where am I maybe trying to manage my anxiety, to manage my fear, to manage the residue of activation in my nervous system from the trauma that hasn't been fully processed yet, right? Where am I maybe trying to manage that by pushing the world away rather than allowing myself to be part of the greater cosmos? The Queen of Swords is an invitation into finding that clarity and really being quite unbiased with yourself, quite direct with yourself, to see very, very clearly, here's how this is showing up in my world. As you do that, then the opportunity is the Ten of Cups. Look at the beauty of this card. This is blissful relationships. This is harmony, divine love, being aligned with my soul's purpose. So it's not that you're really far off here, okay? But there's this sense of maybe not being fully in command of yourself. And when we look at the story of Zeus, look, that man could not keep it in his pants to save his life or the lives of his many hundreds of children, right? He had a lack of self-control and a lack of self-restraint. He expected more from those around him than he expected from himself. And that's where the issue of integrity comes in when we look at Zeus as the emperor. Are we just trying to control everything to set it up in the way that, best meets our preferences? Or are we leading through example? Are we leading through inspiring others by the quality of our character in order to have this stability, this clear seeing, and be in wonderful, harmonious relationship with others and with the world around us? And I'd like to clarify, I'm going to pull just a couple more cards to really clarify, what is the piece, I think, when we look at this Queen of Swords, at this clarity, what is the opportunity right now in this energy, please, spirits, guides, allies, ascended masters who are joining us here today? Where can we find or focus our energy to find this clarity and to find this middle path between ruling like a tyrant and leading with that embodiment of divine sovereignty? And we've been talking about this so much, this sovereignty of the self, claiming our own power. Honestly, when we see people in leadership roles and, they're trying to just control everyone around them, control all the circumstances, that doesn't actually feel like power, does it? That feels like grasping and anxiety and pushing social levers, right, of authority, relying on authority versus actually relying on the power of your sovereignty, on the power of your character. And so, very interested to see, I'm using the Black Cat Tarot here, Tarot de los Gatos Negro, that I picked up at the Tarot Museum in Madrid. I love this deck. I think it's really sweet. Okay, so our clarifiers on this, we have the 10 of Coins, we have the 9 of Wands, and the 5 of Swords. So again, we're here with the coins in this notion of really ultimate fulfillment. And what I'm seeing here is it's coming from giving up some of these battles. So wherever it is, whether you're battling with yourself or possibly, since we're seeing this tendency towards some isolationism and feeling left out, maybe there's been some conflict that's showing up in your world. You might be having some triggers. You might be having even a little bit of mental distortion that can come in when we're in our healing journey. And we are getting triggered by trying to get back out into the world and seeing, coming out of our hermit stage and starting to interact with others. And the reality is, we're not all enlightened beings surrounded by enlightened beings. We're humans, all of us, working on our spirit curriculum. So people are going to push our buttons. We're going to push their buttons. It doesn't mean anyone's a good or a bad person. This is just the way the cookie crumbles. It's part of being alive. So we're seeing here that stability comes from the Nine of Wands in reverse, right? Nine of Wands is really about like, look, this little dude has won this battle, but now he's all alone. Okay, was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? Kind of leaving yourself isolated. And then we have the Five of Swords. Again, this big energy of anguish and struggle. And this can be mental anguish, right? So it's like, if we want this, we need to let go of the fight. We need to let go of the anguish. We need to let go of trying to force and control ourselves, of overriding our own knowing about our destiny, about what my spirit wants, and actually let yourself be in flow. Where is your heart leading you? Where is your heart leading you? Not just your mind, not just the air element telling you, here's what you ought to do. Where is your joy leading you? What feels like a yes in your body, not just a yes where you're telling yourself, I'm supposed to think this or do this. That's what we're being invited to give up here and get clarity on. How could I be in flow? This King of Pentacles energy. I'm not pushing or forcing super hard. I'm planting seeds. I'm tending my crops through the seasons. But this doesn't look like an individual who pushes people around, right? This is earth energy. This is kind, strong, stable, beautiful energy, loyal energy. How can we bring that energy to ourselves, to our growth, to our command of our own kingdom? And we see here we're pulling full moon in Taurus, which I believe we actually just had, unless it was, I'm not sure if it was Scorpio or Taurus, the energy of detoxify. So there's something to let go of here. There's something to let go of. If we come back to this energy of Zeus, then we might say that there's a sense of entitlement. Maybe there's that sense of, you know what, I've done all this work, so I'm entitled to people behaving a certain way. I'm entitled to the world showing up a certain way. And the challenge is it just doesn't work out like that, right? None of us is ever actually entitled. We get to work with other people and the world the way it shows up. So however this is showing up in your world, whatever this clarity is, and this sense of stability comes when you let go of this struggle, this external and internal struggle. That's where the stability is going to come in for you. That's where this joy, this beautiful 10 of Cups energy, this happiness, this divine connection and embodiment, this absolute joy comes in when we let go of the fight, detoxify from that entitlement, that attempt to force, that attempt to control. Remember, we've been talking about boundaries. That's about myself, not others. I don't control others' behavior. If I'm still trying to control others, I've got more work to do on owning my own power so I can let other people own theirs. So own yourself, own your real power, be in your heart, let go of this desire to control, this desire to fight. Allow yourself to be in co-creation with others. That is the opportunity that the Pantheon is bringing us today. I so hope this has been helpful for you, loves. Please go ahead and drop a like on the reading if it has in any way. And you just be very gentle with yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Okay, bye-bye.